Hello? 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 Testing? Testing? Hello? Hello? Testing. Listening for this for a bit while doing an Albania campaign before going to it. Hello, Jonathan 800. Hello, Vic Lorenzo. Hello, M. Domstroll. I'm guessing by the salutations you can hear me. Very good. That means this stream technically started off better than previously, where it took me half an hour to get things going. This time it only took me 10 minutes. Look at that progress. Isn't that great? Oh, and as the music ends, we can curtail things. I'm not jinxing anything. How good is the audio? Loud, too quiet, too bad, too good. You never really know with these kind of things. Goodness me. So today we're going to be going over Belgium. Bro, what are you doing? It's 2:47 a.m. here. Okay, listen. Here's in case you didn't see the drama. Okay, it is 11:37 over there, correct? It's my birthday today. So because of that, I've been out with family. I've been doing things, busy bee, and because of that, there was just no time. There's just been no time to do anything. Thank you for the happy birthday. But yeah, so I couldn't get anything done, and things just started piling up. Like things are getting crazy sauce. CK3 released a DLC today. Didn't even have time to cover that. Congo released a dev diary today. Didn't have time to cover that. Thank you to P Nuts and Space Fishy. Good names there. And then we've got Germany Alt History, and that's coming out on Wednesday. So, forgive me, okay? You can burn me at the cross. I think that people care 10 times more about German alt history than they do the Congo. So I made the decision that I was going to focus on making the alt history Germany dev diary and then bite the bullet on the Congo dev diary. But then I was like, but I can stream some of me looking at the Congo dev diary. Also, don't worry about Götterdämmerung. You buy it for yourself when you can. I definitely cannot say whether or not I already have the DLC and have played it, so I surely would have no idea about anything to do with the DLC already, and I'm literally just going to cosplay like I have no idea. Have I seen the teaser? I mean, I've seen a lot more than the teaser. I have a good idea what we're dealing with. Sorry. I should probably switch you all over to the dev diary now. You're smelling early access. That would be so strange. Okay. Now, in theory, if I press this button... Oh god. It sent me to the end. But maybe it also transitioned me to the Congo dev diary. Hello? No? Maybe? Help? I can do it manually. Like that. Okay, in theory, we should all be looking at a dev diary. I promise you, I was very concerned about pressing buttons and accidentally sharing the entire DLC. Yeah. Very big concerns. When I started the stream, I was getting a warning that the quality of the stream is low by about a third. But then I was like, aren't we just looking at a dev diary? How much quality do we need? So if the quality is bad, tell me. I'll have a quick look through the settings and see if I can change anything. But it seems to be just text on screen. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll be fine. Hopefully we shouldn't be here too long. Hopefully. Looks good to you? Very good indeed. More pixels than the Germany alt history. That's true. So, usually, I don't get to see the video. I never watch these videos. I don't know what's in them. And I think I've said this before. Sometimes they tell you stuff in these videos, that is way more informative than the dev diary, and then you look like an idiot, and then people come into your comment section and say, did you not know in the video they clearly say that that thing that you said was true in the dev diary is not actually true and it actually means this? And I'm like, no, I did not see the video. I saw nothing. So, let's have a go. Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's dev diary. Today we're talking about Congo. Today we're going to be led by Mordred Viking, who's called Gareth, and Devil D3 Vil, also called Jonathan, but probably not Jonathan 800, also known as Jonathan Gaming. We previously talked about, although both of them use a number in their name. Suspicious. We previously talked about Belgium, and now it's time to talk about Congo. I'll start talking about a specific part of the focus tree. Oh, I should mention, I haven't read this. I have been so busy, I have no idea. I don't know. Having read this already, I think Congo and Belgium have crazy co-op potential. Oh, we'll see. Okay, let's take a watch. Oh god, that was so loud, I got scared. 10 minutes! Oh my goodness. Okay. Feel free to yell at me if it's too loud, too quiet. I'm just going to stick it in the middle, and pray we go well from there.
I'm Peter Nicholson, Game Director for Hearts of Iron. Welcome to a country showcase for our upcoming expansion, Götterdämmerung. Today we'll take a closer look at Congo.
Okay, it was their graphic that was bad.
Congo's role in the Second World War is far greater than most realise. Tied closely with Belgium, it was Congo's wealth, its gold and its diamonds that kept the Belgian government in exile financially stable, without needing help from the other allied nations. Congolese soldiers fought alongside the Allies in the Force Publique, facing off against the Italians in Ethiopia. The country's rubber production surged after Southeast Asia fell to Japan, and Congo's copper and cobalt became essential resources for the war effort. Of course, there's also Congo's uranium. At the time, it had the world's largest known uranium deposits, which became critical to the Manhattan Project and the development of the atomic bomb. While Belgium's colonial history in Congo, particularly under the reign of Leopold II, was marked by terror, our attention lands on Congo's rich identity and undeniable contribution to the global conflict.
Okay, I can take this opportunity. You wish France had Congo's blue colour? Very soft blue, isn't it, on France? It's interesting about the focus art. I always like looking at the art and thinking how good it looks. I think that this is cool with the golden diamonds. Of course, I don't know what the focuses do. I mean, I could go look. I literally could cheat the entire system right now and go look, but I haven't played the game for Belgium Congo. If I was to guess, what, building slots here? Lots of rubber infrastructure, which boosts resources, so rubber. Very good.
Which became critical to the Manhattan Project. Congo's rich identity and undeniable contribution to the global conflict.
Yes. We know.
You'll notice that both Congo and Belgium share a significant part of the colonial branch.
They do.
Which is represented by a new bunting flag under the focus icon.
Okay, bunting flags. So when I saw this, I thought this was the European Union flag because I saw blue and it was blurred. I don't know if anybody remembers, but in the Belgium dev diary, it was blurry on the focus. So I was like, it could be European Union. It could be like a diplomacy path. And I did say, I imagined there was going to be the Belgium Congo in here because where else would it have been? Bunting. Stick the bunting up. So I hear it a lot in Britain. I'm not sure how international the word bunting goes. The little thing. I've got some bunting behind me for my birthday. It's my birthday bunting. It says, have a super birthday. Kapow. There you go. That's some IRL lore behind me. I've got a balloon too. You've not heard of the word bunting before? Wow. Okay, that's fine. Some things don't carry overseas, I guess.
Some focuses are unique to each country, marked by their respective flags, while others can be completed by either. When one nation completes a focus in this joint section, it'll be completed for both, with the benefits shared between them.
Joint focus tree?
Belgium needs to complete monetary reconstruction from their industrial branch followed by Congo Investments, and ideally Société Générale de Belgique, to unlock further options. Congo, on the other hand, must complete the Belgian Congo and then Heart of Africa to proceed.
So this is the Belgium section, and this is the Congo section, but somehow in the middle they can split up and do subsections together. Like, once they both do this, they can go down here, or they can go down here. But there is like a central heart. Oh, you're Finnish. Finnish. Do I know any Finnish? No. I don't know any Finnish. How do I say hello in Finnish? Please tell me. Catholic Commissar, hello. That's an interesting juxtaposition of terms. When I think of Commissar, I'm thinking of Soviets, anti-religion, and then Catholicism. Interesting juxtaposition. Sorry, we'll carry on.
So how does this all work? Well, let's break it down.
Amazing. Hey equals hello. Amazing.
With a few examples. Both nations have modifiers that these focuses improve. Belgium's colonial returns and Congo's model colony. For instance, the focus Société Générale de Belgique, completed by Belgium, enhances Congo's model colony with better construction and gives Belgium a boost in political power generation. The Heart of Africa, completed by Congo, increases Congo's research speed while granting Belgium political power. Then there's the Bakwanga mine focus, which can be finished by either Belgium or Congo. Congo will gain a civilian factory, while Belgium will gain a boost to trade resources per factory. In general, single-nation focuses will provide larger bonuses to that country, and in rare cases, one country might get no benefit or even face a drawback. Joint focuses, however, usually benefit both. Some will act as gates, where one nation needs to complete a focus before the other can proceed. The colonial branch itself is split into tiers, marked by the central focuses. The Belgian Congo section is accessible only to Congo, offering strong early game boosts as an introduction to the branch. The Heart of Africa, in Tier 1, contains most of the resource improvements as both nations work to kickstart Congo's economy. In Tier 2, we have regional specialization, which requires 6 focuses from the previous tier and will focus more on advanced resources. Finally, Congo's place in the world in Tier 3 needs 14 focuses and will determine Congo's future relationship with Belgium. The branch is also broadly divided between left and right. On the left, the focuses revolve around extracting raw resources and generally increasing Congo's autonomy.
Can I just say, these videos completely took my place. Like, this is what, if you go back 4 or 5 years, this is what I would have been doing. Going through the focuses one by one. But now that they make their own videos, thank you, RC Polygons. It's interesting that you said that, but I only said that at the start of the stream. He must be watching from a distance. He's going to hear this thank you like 30 minutes later or something. But yes, it's funny how they basically started doing their own Dev Diary series. They kind of filled in their own gap in the market. I see the comments. I'll just address them once we get to the next subsection.
On the right, the developmental focuses decrease Congo's autonomy. Autonomy matters because once Congo's place in the world is completed, their status as a colony or independent nation is locked in. Depending on their autonomy, several outcomes are possible. Congo might be annexed by Belgium as the Congo Free State, remain a puppet as an overseas department, become a dominion like Canada or Australia, or declare full independence as the Republic of Congo. While independence can be achieved peacefully, it's up to Belgium to decide if they'll fight to keep control. If Belgium can invoke one of these statuses, Congo Free State, Overseas Department, or Dominion, along with completing the engine of the economy focus from their own tree, they will unlock the Belgian Miracle, which comes with a massive industrial bonus. But if Belgium is no longer the overlord, the entire colonial branch gets locked, as Congo loses its main investor.
Okay, there was a lot to take in there, wasn't there? About how effectively the branch is divided into 2 sections, one to bring down autonomy, one to take up autonomy, and how in the end there's a big choice. Help. Becoming a free state, a department. Maybe this is like closely associated. I'm sure we'll cover it later. A straight up puppet. And then this is like giga independent in a different direction, including like African Union, so formable nation. What's the difference between the Congo Free State and the Republic of Congo? They're both free, one would assume. But that almost looks like the Belgian flag, so I'm guessing that's not free at all. It will be covered. Okay, comments. Joint focus system is great. I agree with you. I think it should be used in the British Overseas Dominions. In fact, you're giga right. It 8 trillion% should be, because there's a section in the British tree about boosting the Dominions. And there's like focuses to give them factories. Like you're playing as Canada and you want like, is it 2 sieves and a mill or something? And only Britain can do that focus. But it would be better if the focus section was started by Britain and then each constituent part of the Commonwealth can do their industry building. And it's also good because that means that if Britain wants to form the Commonwealth of Nations faster, all of the puppet peoples just need to do their individual focuses, and then you can kind of speedrun it slightly faster. So there's some cool stuff you can do with it. Austria-Hungary is going to be great. Very true. EA Co-Prosperity Sphere and the Chinese United Front would also benefit. Chinese United Front. Maybe. Definitely. Congo State was just the official name for the Belgian Congo, as it wasn't a part of Belgium officially. It's kind of ironic, isn't it, Mark? That they have a name for something that isn't free. I was going to make a terrible joke there, but I can't. That's terrible. Thank you. My videos are better. I appreciate that. Plus, your voice is better for it. How could you say that about game director? I might have forgotten his name. He's called Ahio, but I forgot his name. He says it right at the start, I think. 70-day focuses have become 84-day focuses. Hey, I hope you like 14-day focuses. Let's just put it that way. I think it is split between integrated puppet, colony, and dominion. And also free. Completely free. Congo Free State is annexed into Belgium. Department's just the same as the game. Okay, thank you. Let's go.
This can be achieved peacefully.
Sorry, in my videos, I guess you wouldn't talk to me. So it takes longer, doesn't it?
Now let's dive into what the colonial branch can really offer. This is Belgium's overlord branch. The first 2 focuses give access to the wider shared branch, but the latter ones tend to take from Congo without giving as much in return. These provide substantial boosts for Belgium, but they come with a steep cost in terms of Congo's autonomy. Congo is incredibly resource-rich, offering
Sorry. I'm sorry. He said, Congo is incredibly resource-rich. 90% of my screen has nothing on it, apart from just like 8 rubber and 4 tungsten. Congo is incredibly resource-rich. Guys, this is going to change the game. This is game-changing. I think Belgium's a world conquest power now from this. He said it with such like deadpan delivery. Oh my god, sorry. That really wasn't funny, but to me that was really funny because it's just nothing. There's just nothing here. It's just completely terrible terrain. Oh god, sorry. Okay, let's listen to that again and then I won't laugh. Oh, 12 resources total, I know. The visual was, yeah, I 100% he meant that, but he just says it and then there's just nothing on screen. Crazy, huge bonuses.
Of Congo's autonomy. Congo is incredibly resource-rich, offering a wealth of benefits.
Clearly. Oh, there's 4
mining
more.
companies like the CCCI and Forminière prospect for gold and diamonds and eventually expand the Shinkolobwe mine for more uranium. But
He
Belgium
likes
must
talking
tread
about that
carefully,
uranium.
as investing too heavily in Congo's resources can drive up autonomy. If Congo is on the path to independence, it might choose to sacrifice some of that mineral wealth for the greater good. If Belgium completes the Uranium Development Trust, it gains a bonus to nuclear special projects for all members of its faction. Congo, however, can take a more secretive approach,
Ooh,
smuggling uranium to any major power,
Ooh.
even if they're at war, and selling that same bonus for a price.
Ooh.
Congo isn't just about mining, though. It also has great potential for rubber cultivation and agriculture.
Huge.
Given their massive size, you can invest in infrastructure to better access and utilize the interior. On Belgium's
Epic
side,
gameplay.
the Belgian devaluation line includes systems that reduce Congo's autonomy, while French Congo and colonial ambitions
PLO
open
does
doors to
have a
further
new
expansion
portrait.
across Africa.
True.
The Force Publique, which starts locked, is only accessible to Belgium.
Ooh.
But if Congo finds itself at war, it can begin completing this section too. Early focuses improve the Force Publique, boosting available manpower, enhancing fighting ability in Congo's jungles, and providing strong jungle warfare bonus.
Where are my strong jungle fighting bonuses? I see core territory. I don't see... Okay, maybe it's like inside the tree and he's not talking about that specific focus.
Bonuses. Finally, it can be modernized into the Army of the Congo. Lastly, we have Raoul von Overstreiten, known as one of Belgium's most talented officers, though he's fully aware of his own reputation.
Not Army of the Congo, because that only gave you recruitable population. I literally saw nothing about fighting on terrain, like terrain bonuses towards jungle, but hey, maybe it's in there somewhere.
It's unlikely, but not impossible, that Belgium will bring him back into service.
Raoul!
However, having served with distinction in Congo during the First World War, he might just be open to serving in Africa again.
Wow. There was one part that was interesting to me there. God, isn't this thrilling gameplay? The building up infrastructure. I said this before, I think it was in my previous video, but I think that they did some good stuff with the international market, but it almost makes me feel like now there needs to be just a slight change to the way resources work, because many nations require you to be a trading nation, to trade your resources abroad. But if you know the game, you can trade for steel and then stop trading for steel instantly. Like, there's no downtime. And I still think there needs to be if you, let's say, buy, 16 steel from Germany or whatever, you have to agree to that for like 3 months minimum, And then after that 3 months, you can cancel it. And maybe it costs something. Because it's annoying that, the AI is so unpredictable, they'll start buying something from you, and for reasons unbeknownst to you, they'll just stop one day. Even though they need it, they're just going to stop. Maybe you did something bad in the world stage, but you don't know. There's no connected system to really understand why people do or don't trade. And for really minor nations like Congo, this is literally your bread and butter of how you get civs. So just make it so that if you buy resources from a country, it's stuck for 3 months minimum, at least for 3 months. And then the AI is probably going to stay with it for years unless you do something crazy like change your ideology to fash. And then they're going to leave. That they get if you have a different ideology from them, they can leave for free or something. It's really annoying. That trade opinion modifier advisor is going to be ultra useful. It would be useful if they made a thing for the thing, a thing for the thing. I made a video called What I Want for Hoi 5. Forget that video. What I want for Hoi 4 now, now, is this. I want some fixed rate trade deal options so that when I buy something, I'm stuck with it. And when the AI buys from me, they're stuck with it. I hate this. Oh, I'm just going to buy steel for a week and then I'm done because I got what I needed. It's so dumb. Okay. Sorry. I'm ranting.
Sub-branch to remove the invisible roof national spirit, which consists of 3 focuses. These can only be unlocked once you've gained independence, no matter how you achieve it. Moving on to the more significant branches, let's look at what we call the pre-independence political branches. These begin with focuses like Governor-General Pierre Rickman found the Congolese national movement and National Committee for Liberation. The ones on the left strengthen the colonial regime, while those on the right lead to independence either peacefully or through a war. If you chose independence, you can do so by growing democracy.
I agree, Liam. They do, don't they? It's really crazy how they've decided to go with the sticking focuses, like just hanging around. Yeah, interesting. And no, those focuses can't be done as a Dominion, unless you're talking about the UK thing from earlier. Yeah, they do kind of give mod vibes, don't they? I feel like... I think it's because Mordred Viking made these. I think specifically he did the other one that was like this. And it's a much more maybe laissez-faire way of doing it. Just guessing. I don't mind. I'm indifferent, really. It does feel modish, I agree.
If you chose independence, you can do so by growing democracy support and boosting your independence score for a peaceful path, or you can choose to fight for it. The peaceful route will likely lead to a democratic government, but if you opt for violence, the political landscape could change drastically. There are also options for when Congo is still tied to Belgium, and Belgium finds itself at war.
I got an ad for my own
due to a
stream.
German invasion.
It's ridiculous. I literally set it on
In that case,
minimum.
Congo can gain strong temporary bonuses to help rearm and support its allies in the new Great War. The Congolese armed forces can't remain a colonial gendarmerie forever. After gaining independence or completing the Force Publique branch in the joint focus tree, the Armée Nationale Congolaise branch unlocks, allowing you to professionalize your military.
Sorry, what have we got here? Population, supply consumption. This is huge in the African jungles, isn't it? The problem with hidden focuses is you never really know what you're going to quite get until later on. It's good for meme paths. I think it's really good with the Italy Pope tree, and the Argentina Adolf goes there and reforms the Fourth Reich. But the problem with like core trees is you can't plan ahead of what you want to do. And that can be kind of annoying because, especially like, here's what would happen. Players would buy the DLC and then they'd say, "Oh, I bought this DLC, but there's no content in it. I mean, where's all the focus tree paths? They lied to us in advertising." Because they haven't even played for like 2 years to get to those focus tree branches, so they don't even know they're in the game. They'd be like, I can see it now. I can see the headaches, you know. So, Finland does have a hidden path. It's the monarchy path, if I remember. Holoclimatization, resistance target, airbase. Yeah, they do hide 99% of the tree because they want to consolidate, but you never quite know what you're doing until later on. That's why things like Kaiserreich have to have guides that you follow on their wiki if you want to go down a specific path, because you have no idea where you're going. It's kind of funny. Okay.
Once independent, Congo has several paths to choose from. One will require 40% or more democratic support, another focuses on communism with the same threshold, and the third option is for when neither political faction reaches 40% support. The democratic path mainly focuses on quickly eliminating administrative penalties and industrializing as soon as possible.
Very cool.
It offers the potential for some territorial expansion, and Congo's new generic formable nation feature allows it to core certain territories regardless of the chosen path.
This
In
is
the
true.
communist branch, you'll have two main directions, similar to the Ethiopian focus tree. One focusing on using war goals and limited wars to liberate nations, eventually leading to the formation of the African Union. The other is about spreading the revolution across Africa, with the possibility of eventually joining the Comintern. Congo now shares the African Union mechanics originally available only to Ethiopia, with revisions making them more affordable and functional for both countries. Lastly, if the country can't unite behind a single...
Wouldn't it be romantic if me and the Paradox devs put our cursors on top of each other and it was like we were holding hands?
single ideology, a council of ministers can be formed to end the political chaos. This council's goal is to select a ruler from one of the regional monarchs in and around Congo, in an event chain similar to the Polish royal elections. Depending
wrong,
on the
Hojo?
ruler you choose, a new branch will emerge. And that's it for now. If you want to see a deep dive into the mechanics surrounding Belgium's colonial empire, be sure to also check out the developer diary on the forum.
We will check out the developer diary. We will. Who on God's earth are all these people? I'm sorry, like 8 trillion people who I've never heard of just came up. We've got Hojo, Ian. I saw Liam earlier. Hello again, Liam. I think he said everybody to me. And then Probl. Very good. Okay. So, Congo. We've kind of seen it all. And Mr. Gibbs. Hello, Mr. Gibbs. Why Congo, though? I know there was some surprise at their inclusion in this expansion, but there's a good reason for it. I mean, the next touching to ain't no way. You always check here first. Oh, I'm so sorry. You should check Bitter Steel. He does it with face cam, and I think if you do it with face cam, you are a lot more engaging a character. But I'm self-conscious about how I look, so I don't do it with face cam. Anyway, there was a good reason for doing it. They contributed more to Second World War than you realise, intrinsically linked together with Belgium, gold, diamonds, Congolese soldiers. I'm not better. This is terrible if somebody watches the VOD and I'm not reading it properly. It was their gold and diamonds which kept the Belgian government in exile solvent. Very good, you need gold and diamonds, meaning that they did not need any donations or loans from other allied nations. Well, I mean post-war probably they did. Congolese soldiers fought in the Force Publique together with other allied troops against the Italians in Ethiopia. Congolese rubber production was expanded following the fall of Southeast Asia to Japan, and other raw materials were heavily developed from the war effort. I am just a H with a crown. My jokes are terrible. It's always founded on me being half deaf and not knowing if my audio is correct. Terrible, terrible, terrible. The question I have now, he does have insights into the Belgian focus tree that I wouldn't have. But then again, I don't come from a country that doesn't exist. So very good. I think the main takeaway from this is it should be Egypt, right? We need Egypt in the game. I think of all the nations they need to add going forward, it's especially fascinating to me that they announced is it Lions of something? What's the name of the next DLC? I forgot. Lions? Something? Any knowers in chat? Is it at the bottom, maybe? Oh god, there are comments. Graveyard of Empires. And he's right, it is Graveyard of Empires. Well done, everyone. Well done. They're all coming in now. Everybody knew. Everybody opened a second tab, quickly Googled, and then they came back and they said Graveyard of Empires. Very good. I'm amazed they're doing Graveyard of Empires. They're doing Iraq, Iran, all the way up till Pakistan and India. But I think, God, it would have been a good time going for Egypt. A good time going for Egypt, because I feel like, isn't Egypt quite literally, historically, in this time period, basically independent, kind of like Canada? That was my understanding. So, but of course they did say that famous thing about how Britain never defends Egypt, because of the way that works. But then again, it is possible now, because they made the way that AI defends certain territories better. So it is possible. Okay, sorry. More than Canada, TBH. Goodness me, maybe. Congo's uranium was vital to the Manhattan Project, as Congo had at the time the largest known uranium deposit in the world. I did not know that. They are aware of the elephant in the room, though. Belgium's relationship with Congo has not always been benign. Now what on earth do they mean about that? There was a period where horrible atrocities occurred, particularly under the second king, Leopold III's grandfather. While the situation in the Congo during the Second World War has been a long time now. I should stop doing that. While the situation in Congo during the Second World War had significantly improved, things were by no means perfect. This is a war game focusing on the war and are not interested in doing the other aspects. So this means no Holocaust in the World War II game. I'm sure there are some very conflicting opinions about that, but I don't blame them for not making a 35-day focus where you remove the hands of some people. You know, I'm not going to besmirch anyone for doing that. You know, that would be ridiculous. So I think what they're doing here is called avoiding a headache by mentioning it. You know, yeah. I was going to make jokes about that kind of thing, but the point being, this is not a territory you want to be in. Imagine Hoi 4 getting like this huge drama in the news about, you know, terrible game now represents Belgium, you know, colonial atrocities. It's not worth it. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. But I do see some people complain about it, especially on Reddit. But take their opinion as you will. So we saw most of this tree in the video, but I guess now we have some better inkling towards Belgium section. Hard to find woke 4, true. Game news drama. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Liam. It's like there's a balance between you know, you don't want to be like, you don't want to reject that it happened. You don't want to be like, because I have seen some complaints that said that Hoi 4 is like Holocaust denialist because it doesn't even talk about Jews in this time period. And I can kind of understand what they're saying. Here's like, oh God, how much deep water am I going to get into with this conversation? I think that if I was pushed in that direction, I think the most I would do is, you know, those newspaper pop-ups that appear on screen that tell you like, you know, Queen Maud of Norway has died, or something. I think I would do newspaper events that just say, like, atrocities being reported coming out of Germany, and anti-Semitism, massive problems, so that you have some understanding of the historical representation of Jewish treatment in that period without necessarily making it a game mechanic. So you don't want to gamify any of this because it's terrible, right? But you don't want to deny its existence entirely. So if I was doing the middle ground, I think I would just do occasional news pop-ups that say, this terrible thing is probably happening right now, you know? Depending on, you know, if Germany goes communist or democratic, you're not going to get that news pop-up, I guess. But even then, even touching it, even addressing its existence could open up a pack of worms. So I also respect Paradox's position to not even discuss the matter. And that is also probably a wise thing to do. But anyway, you know. But anyway, wiping my hands of that topic and moving on. My breath. So, Belgium, getting cheap labour. Oh my God, the cheap labour, instantly we get into terrible focus names. Terrible. Instantly. God, okay, let's ignore that I just said that and move immediately to the right side. And then things that increase their colonial ambitions. Look at that hand trying to grab the Congo, the Belgians. They're ever so greedy. This is so odd, isn't it? These like free focuses up here. I can only think of one other part of the game where I see this, and it's the warlords in China. They have like a sieve, a mill, a research slot, 2 other things maybe, and that's kind of it. That's kind of the only other place. Setting up the administration, a slightly more communist vibe, a slightly more democratic vibe, then quite literally flipping your ideology, including a monarchy, and then a little army tree down here, as well as one to help with Europe. I think that this is the tree for modifying the warlord state modifier. It is now. Yes, they updated it, didn't they? And now for some reason I'm going to show you a part of the Belgian focus tree. I mean, you're showing us the part that you're going to discuss, the colonial branch. So they do share a lot in common. Joint colonial branch, i.e., as we saw in the video, they have bunting underneath them, depicting whether only Belgium can do it, only the Congo can do it, or if either can do it. And some of them will require your other nation to do your focus before you can do the next focus. It is wrong. It looks like the tree for Vietnam when it becomes independent. In Road to 56, I don't play mods like at all. Like, not even slightly. I just stopped a long time ago. Société Générale de Belgique, they get the model colony. Apparently they are the model colony. Political power gain goes down. War support, construction speed. 3% construction speed is nothing. Peace and love. Research speed plus 1% is nothing. Peace and love. The model colony, you get some consumer goods reduction. So this is, I assume, Belgium getting this. So that Belgium upgrades their ability to run the country. I made mods. I just tried to update the generic focus tree because the generic focus tree in the game is completely untouched since vanilla. Let's be real. And yet, I mean, not anymore, but at the time it was the most prevalent focus tree in the entire game. True. You don't want to think... That's true. That's a good point. You don't want to think about the realities, I guess. Okay, sorry. The Heart of Africa, which is this focus. We're talking about the focuses above. If I was doing this, I'd probably try and position it so you could see all three and connect them. This can only be done by Belgium. It can only be done by the Congo, but it gives Belgium 75 political power. Imagine this. This could be really annoying. I forgot some of the Belgium focuses, but if there's a situation where you're desperately needing political power, maybe for a decision, and you're like, come on Africa, come on Congo, do the focus. I need my 75 political power, and you have no control over it. If you're becoming a speedrunner and you're dictating your outcome based upon Congo's actions, I hope you've got historical on, because I imagine this kind of thing could really bother you. Also, big hits. Big hits to political power gain. Not very fun. Greece helps France get political power, that's true. Heart of Darkness. I mean, the Heart of Africa is just what Africa was called in this time period, this section. The Bakwanga Mine. Trade extra resource per factory and a sieve. Very, very good. Very, very good. Generally, the single nation focuses will give a bigger bonus to the country, and in some rare cases give nothing to the other, or can actually cost them something, whereas the focus they either can complete will boost both. Some focuses also function like a gate. We saw this in the video. You can't do this stuff until Congo does Heart of Africa. Oof. That can be annoying, isn't it? Imagine you have very specific plans, but, the other one is kind of blocking you out of it. I'm thinking. You could imagine there being some kind of not necessarily demand, but request your overlord or puppet to do a focus, and then they'll be kind of directed, I would like it if you did this focus, and then it tags it, and then the AI will kind of prioritize heading towards that focus. But otherwise, it's more like a multiplayer thing where you have to talk to each other, yeah. Goodness me, I hope I'm not ignoring people. How long does the focus last? They're all 70 days. I hope you like 70-day focuses. I hope we're all a big fan of 70-day focuses. I mean, you're in the Congo. There's nothing else going on. You're building infrastructure for your 4 rubber, okay? I don't want to hear any complaints about what we're doing in the Congo. You chose to play the Congo, okay? What do you mean? The 70-day focuses with nothing to do is the best gameplay. Pre-selecting the focuses like the MIO updates, indeed. Yeah, you can make a pre-selection, but maybe just pre-select on your puppet's focus tree, please head here. Tier 1. So the focus tree is split up into tiers. The top part, the Heart of Africa, regional specialization, and Congo's place in the world. Let's go look at where regional specialization is. Here. So what they're saying is, at the start you do this, and then you're waiting on Congo to do the Heart of Africa, and that opens up all of this. And then either one can do this once you've done a certain amount of focuses up here. And then either one can do this once you've done a certain amount of focuses up here. And then you finish the tree. Binga banga bongo, I don't wanna leave the Congo going on and on, on and on. Binga banga bongo, I'm so happy in the jungle, I refuse to go. That is Fallout 3, the eating spots, civilization. Here we are. Broadly, the colonial branch is also divided left against right. On the left, there are the focuses for the extraction of raw resources. Like I said, these generally increase Congo's autonomy, and on the right are the more developmental focuses and decrease Congo's autonomy. And then this is at the bottom. So why does autonomy matter? Congo's autonomy and Congo's place in the world is completed will determine their future as a colony state. This is the bit where we figure it out. Congo Free State. Belgium annexes Congo. Okay, so when I thought instantly that free meant free, free means not free. I apologise to everybody. Republic of Congo means free. I mean, I knew it meant free because it said Whispers of Independence. I just thought free also meant free. I'm an idiot. So from left to right, it's annexed to free with some individual split difference in the middle between puppet or dominion, much like Canada. When a choice is made here, then that status is locked, so note which of these can be completed by Belgium and or Congo. Presumably, of course, Belgium wants you to be a puppet or annexed, and both can become a dominion, but mostly Congo wants to go independent. True, if you have to say that you're democratic, maybe not so democratic. The Belgian Miracle. This is the focus in the Belgian focus tree that was in the very bottom left that requires you to have picked this. Replace Engine of the Economy with Belgian Miracle, which gives you massive factory output. This is good. It's not too crazy though, is it? It almost makes me want to open up the tree again. Look how long this dev diary is. I apologise, everyone. I will hurry this up. I don't want to waste anybody's time. So you have to do your industry tree, right? And then you have to go through all of this tree. And then you and the Congo have to work your way through the tier 1 focuses, then the tier 2 focuses, then the tier 3 focuses, assuming you've got the autonomy where you need it, before you can complete the Belgian Miracle. And it gives you 20% factory output and 10% construction speed. I mean, it's a great buff, don't get me wrong. 20% factory speed is a lot. Think about the amount of planes you can get out with that. I'm just thinking that you're dead. Yeah, exactly. You just beat me to it. Don't forget the Germans are breathing down your neck. You'll be dead by then, right? So this must be something you do in exile. But here's the irony. How can you have a Belgium economic miracle when your country doesn't exist? Like, you're not in Belgium. You're a government in exile by this point. Right, I agree, Probel. You probably do this while you're capitulated. But it doesn't make any sense contextually why Belgium would have an economic miracle. Look, okay, I'm sorry. Look right below the picture. I apologise. I'm not reading. Historically, after the war, Belgium was able to recover most of it. Then this was in large part because of how well Congo made them. This became known as the Belgian Miracle. So this is a post-war focus, is what you're saying. But there's nothing here that says you have to be at peace or own your own territory. I'm just saying. There's no... Let's check. Do we think Engine of the Economy might require you to own your territory? And then you can do Belgian Miracle? Just a thought? I don't know. I'm splitting hairs here. You've made a point. This is a post-war focus. I'm just saying, it's funny that there isn't a requirement that says something like owns at least one core state. Like, if you own one core state fully controlled, still, you get to take the focus. Because then at least you have some place to do your miracle. But if you disagree and you don't agree, that's cool too. Okay. Therefore, if Belgium is able to invoke the Congo Free State Overseas Department of Congo plus infantry, they can do the Belgian Miracle Focus, which comes with massive industrial bonus. I mean, the factory output is very good. I will not deny. Colonial Mini Branch. Let's get a little more into detail about what you can get out of the Colonial Branch. Société Générale de Belgique. This is Belgium's Overlord branch. The first two giving access to the wider shared branch, however the latter part generally takes things from the Congo without recompense. These will have pretty large boosts for Belgium, but come at a high cost in autonomy. CCCI. It would probably help if you knew what all of these things are. Rwanda Urundi, expand the tungsten, Bakwanga mine. Very good. Congo is very resource rich and can bring a wealth of benefits. These range from growing the mining companies of the CCI and the Formea prospecting for gold or diamonds. How useful are gold and diamonds in a wartime situation? Does anybody know? I know people use diamonds for tools, don't they? Like the tip of tools? But is that a modern invention, or was that typically used in 1939? Not sure. And expanding the Shinkolobwe mine for more uranium. They really like talking about this uranium. I'm interested how strong the uranium is now. Belgium, however, must also bear in mind... Yeah, they're used in drills and such. I'm just wondering if this was in this period. Money used to purchase equipment too, I suppose. Invest in the area too heavily. Similarly, if the Congo is on a path to independence, then it might want to sacrifice some of their mineral wealth for the greater good. The greater good. So you can give away your resources in exchange for independence. And this kind of reminds me of the Mexico tree, where you want to... At the bottom of the Mexico tree, there was something to do with the oil. And Britain and America have control over the oil, the resource rights. And then if you want to become fash and join the Axis, you have to make a deal whether you relinquish the agreement for the oil. It kind of reminds me of that. Battering with piglins. Oh no, generating God seed. They're talking about uranium because of the revamping special projects. 100%. It's just funny that they keep talking about the focus and I'm yet to see the focus. You know? Maybe it's at the bottom of the tree. Maybe they're going to talk about it right now. Speaking of uranium, if Belgium is able to complete the Uranium Development Trust, then they'll confer a bonus to nuclear special projects for all members of their faction. This is why I should stop talking and just start reading. So that you get a bonus to all special projects for all members of their faction. So Congo is somebody you want to have in your faction if you're going for nukes. Interesting. I always wonder if these kind of buffs are applied retroactively. Like, if Belgium takes the focus and then joins a faction, does it get applied to all faction members concurrent? Or does it, if you know, let's say they join a faction like the Allies and then they give the bonus, then they leave and then join another faction, do the Allies keep the bonus? They literally had it in the video, mate. Okay, hold up a sec. I'm getting flack now. I'm getting flack. Come on, timestamp me. No. Oh. That's the Bakwanga mine. Which isn't it? I'm seeing it. The cursor is so close to being there. Show me. That's the wrong focus. Show me. I believe you. Oh, here we go. He'll show it now. He'll show it. He just left. He didn't show it. Congo's place in the world. Okay, you can tell me. I'm gonna go back to reading now. I'm sure it was there and I just missed it. Congo too can tap more in sneakily and smuggle uranium to any other major power to give them that bonus too, for a price, even if they're at war. Ah yes, we saw that in the video, of course, the you can smuggle the things out. He does talk about it. I remember him talking about this. I just wondered exactly what the focus gave you very precisely in terms of bonuses, because how they describe things and how things actually are can different. Like when they say the Congo is a huge resource bed, and then they show you like 4 rubber, and you're like, is it? Is it really though? There's more to the Congo than mining. For one, there is a major potential for rubber cultivation. Look, they're literally talking about it. It's like every time I mention something, it's going to be in the next section. As well as widespread agriculture. The sheer size of Congo is also a factor here, and you can invest in various forms of infrastructure to better utilize the vast interior. 5:45 in the video. Here we go. Thank you. Let's judge. Very good. How quickly was this on screen, out of curiosity? God, this is 180p 60, and it's like the blurriest thing I've ever seen in my life. Unlocks decisions to invite allies to the Uranium Development Trust, guaranteeing their bonuses to construction and research revolving around nuclear research. Okay, so active decision. So this is all it gives you. Huh. Not too crazy. Sorry. Not too crazy, just being honest. So there are other things you can do, including building up there's jungle fighting. We wondered what he was talking about when he said there are focuses to do with giving you bonuses to fighting in jungle. 25 political power to give 1 breakthrough nuclear special project, maybe. Maybe. It's funny that I could literally go load up 44 and find out, but I'm not allowed to because of embargo. So I'm kind of just sitting here, guessing to myself. Terrible. Jungle fighting. So we found it. Very, very good. There is. He wasn't lying. He would never lie to us. There's Raoul, the general that he was talking about. 5 attack. Isn't that 25% attack bonus to all fighting? That's very good, isn't it? And this is planning, right? They did spend 50 political power to embargo me. Huh. 5 attack, 5... Is this grand battle plan Congo? It depends how much manpower do you have. I'm trying to think. Does grand battle plan work really well in jungles? I was thinking it's the far right tree mass assault thing, because you want like very low combat width because the terrain is so terrible, and you just want to spam out troops. Where will I get my steel from? That's true. Anyway, there's the shared tree, and now onto the Congo-centric part of the tree, the unique branches. Okay, so this is the individual Congo tree, and it's so interesting how it's aligned. Is it just me? Oh god, now I'm getting really... everybody's gonna hate me. Look how this focus goes straight down, right? But this focus goes to the right by 2. But if you moved it 2 over, wouldn't it line up against here? And then you'd have a nice straight down. And then this focus can be moved 1 to the left, and then they would go straight down in a line, and then you'd have like a nice sort of section that makes sense. They almost have done it over here. Okay, sorry. Look, it could have been. Look what it could have been. There's nothing here stopping them. You could move this 1 over just there, and then move this 2, because this, you can judge by this focus that they can fit this here, and then this focus goes here. Sorry, there you go. Just complaining. I have to complain about something, you know. We can't give them free checks for everything. This is our starting leader. We start off non-aligned, not democratic, which is interesting because doesn't Belgium start off democratic? People might mistake it for being one continuous tree. They might. There's truth in that. There is true. Still scarred by the Congo Free State and King Leopold II, the Belgian Congo has come far. The colonial government still utilizes cheap labor in the mines, and an invisible roof still exists, making sure the majority of the nation's inhabitants are not able to attain higher education. Goodness. I wonder what the literacy rate was in this time period. Huh. Je ne sais pas. There's an invisible roof, giving you daily autonomy progress gain. Okay, now I am very stupid. I apologize, everyone. Does autonomy gain gives you autonomy as the puppet, meaning you become freer faster, doesn't it? That's what that means. It's not... Because gain in my head goes left or right, and then if you go to right, you're becoming more annexed. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. Do you know how, like, I wish I could draw something, but like, look at my cursor. When you go autonomy is reduced, it goes right, and then you get annexed, right? Oh no, it doesn't. It goes down to go annexed, and annexed is on the left. Yeah, sorry, I'm having a stupid moment. It's my birthday today, so I'm old. And now that I'm old, I don't understand things. Autonomy goes right, and then freedom is on the right. Yeah, okay, sorry. Ignore me. Thank you. I'm old now. I don't remember things. An uncontrollably vast nation. Our state is larger than most. Despite our lacking of economics and administrative difficulties, the corners of the state are difficult for our central government to reach and control, and communication and logistics between cities can take weeks, if not months. No political power. There's the recruitable population factor I've been worried about. Consumer goods down, stability down, war support down, construction speed down, and resistance target. This is interesting. I did get a cake, thank you. It's behind me. I haven't eaten it though. I might eat it tomorrow. I'm quite a skinny person. Resistance target. Do we think it's going to be the case? It's probably in the dev diary later. I apologize if you already read it and you think I'm an idiot. That Congo doesn't necessarily own like Rwanda, Burundi, because it's part of like the Department of Belgium Congo, but it isn't necessarily Congolese, and thus the entire state can kind of uproar within you. Just an idea. Force publique is the gendarmerie and military force of the Congo, established in 1877. Entirely European. Belgians are mercenaries. They do talk about that later. I would imagine so. So autonomy goes down here. So this and this cancel each other out. So it's static. Can't get armies. Division defense a little bit higher. No command power. No command power game. But you're good in hot weather. If somebody occupies you, it has higher resistance. I don't think it does mean that. I think resistance target means any state that you own that is non-cord will have rising resistance. Gendarmerie is basically military police, so it's not a proper military. Isn't it interesting that they talk about mercenaries? I have never considered the nature of mercenaries before in this game. When I think of mercenaries, I think of CK3. My goodness. Mercenaries. Imagine building an army out of mercenaries in this game. That's so weird. Crazy. First of all, there is a small sub-branch for ridding yourself of the invisible roof national spirit, costing of these free focuses. They can only be taken once you have become independent, though. So, that's a long way down the world. Imperator Rome? That's a name I haven't heard in years. The Congo War was fought by mercenaries on both sides. It's almost like it's going into like a futuristic Hoi 4 game. An invisible roof gets changed. Research speed. Remove the invisible roof. Well, that's good. Just a simple little cornerstone. Basically fixing up your problems. The invisible roof focuses. Oh, we saw them. But to move on to some more interesting branches, let's start off with the ones I usually call the pre-independence political branch. Okay, so when you're still a puppet, so this is right at the start of the game, what have we got? Air Force, building up some cities, building up some resources, political power stuff maybe, government. A very cool looking focus involving lion dancers. Sorry. 3 focuses to solve racism. It was that easy. Who knew? Who knew? And yet it's not Dominion Congo. Dominion Congo still has problems, I'm afraid. Formally recognized the Kimbangoist Church. Very good. The Alliance of Bakongo. So this looks like the path to independence to some degree, doesn't it? A National Committee for Liberation does not strike me as the kind of people who are happy existing under a colonial rule. Just some food for thought. The leftmost focuses are to do with strengthening the colonial regime. Can I just apologise, by the way? Usually I'd do that, and nobody said anything. Not one human being living has said, press F11, this whole time. Amazing. This is how I would have it, normally. Invest in geomines. Okay, we're getting some aluminium. That's like free milled on planes. Some tungsten. That gets you... Is it artillery? Is that 2.5 artillery? And then 4 chromiums. Heavy tonk, but you never basically use it. Ships, maybe? You can give me grief. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not Tommy K. I'm not going to start banning everybody indiscriminately. You monkey. Monkey. Absolute monkey. It's fine. The Special Committee of Katanga, you get a civ, you get a mill, and you get a political advisor. Resource gain efficiency goes up, but we have no way of controlling who buys our resources, so that's frustrating. Massive buff to consumer goods factory factor, but with the changes to how factor works, it might not be as big as you think. Stability, war support, construction speed. I mean, these are all great, right? A lot of 70-day focuses, by the way. Just, if you ever hate that it takes you maybe a year to do 5 focuses, this might not be the tree for you. Unlock the focuses Rwanda, Urundi, and expand the tungsten mine. Oh, because the focus tree is so disconnected from one another, that means they're going to have to change up the way focus tree works. So some focuses in completely separate parts of the tree unlock other ones. It no longer is just the line system. Huh. That's a more impactful change than maybe we realize. Like going forward, if this is going to be like a normal thing, the idea that trees can be completely on opposite sides and giving you random stuff, it makes it kind of confusing. Like you'd have to become quite familiar with the focus tree to come down a path to know, okay, and now I'm going to do Rwanda Urundi. Oh damn, I can't because I haven't done closer cooperation with Eugene. Sorry, Eugene. My bad, I guess. Something to bear in mind. Gives you more resource gain efficiency and decisions to improve develop of Rwanda Urundi. This is also interesting because I'm pretty sure those 2 countries have access to East Africa as a formable nation. So I wonder if you can like hop the border and become Rwanda Urundi through something around here. Maybe just release them, like become independent, then release them, then play as them, and then go after East Africa. Could be something. Formally recognize the Kimbakis Church, stability, buffs, autonomy game, nothing too crazy. If you wish for independence, as I predicted, one way would be to grow your democracy support and gain independence score and peacefully liberate ourselves, and the other one is by going, a little bit more conflicty. They say the choice is yours, and breaking away peacefully will more than likely put you on a path towards democracy. Violence may be something more cray-cray. War support, political power, changes to democracy. Okay, going independent. little bit of factory output. Here's a sort of general question for people while I get a drink, if any chatters are still here. What do we think improved relations maintain cost really does on a cost scale? I can think of maybe a handful of nations, where they have like Greece, for example, they have an industry tree, which is like, for every nation in the Balkans that has more than 50 opinion of you, you get one off-map civ for their opinion. And in that situation, I agree, improved relations maintain cost is good. But other than that one very unique kind of situation where you have to very, very quickly improve the relation of like 10 different countries, I'm not sure how powerful this is, ever, in any situation, okay? There you go. 1.5 instead of 2, 3 instead of 4, you think? Opinion has very little impact overall. Yeah, until it doesn't, until you have a focus that requires it, I suppose. Endorse force public... I need a drink. I'm so sorry, everyone. During the wonders of editing, I would edit this part out, and you wouldn't hear anything. And I think you do, Mr. Gibbs. I think you do. But I don't know why the AI improves relations. It must be to do with trade deal factor. What is the drink of the day? It is vanilla Coca-Cola, 0 sugar, no calories. I didn't buy it. I was just given it. And now I'm drinking it. That's what I'm drinking. The Simba movement. The best way to oust a colonial trade... Oh, sorry, I missed one. National Committee for Liberation. We will no longer be able to negotiate our independence. Oh, this just sets you on the path to war. The Simba movement, war liberation preparations, you get 3 divisions, and communism becomes bigger. Strike while the iron is hot, and then that's your independence war. If we control Leopoldville, Elizabethville, and Stanleyville, we can force a peace, right? So you're not going to get yourself into a protracted long-term war with Belgium if you can do this. But counterpoint, if World War II begins and Belgium joins the Allies, and that neutrality policy has gone, are you at war with the Allies? That could be a big issue. Big issue. Huh. So you kind of, if you're going independent, you have to rush it. You cannot wait until 1939 or whatever, unless the peace allows you to peace out the Allies. But let's be real, I've never seen them work it out that if a country joins a faction, you can piece them all out. Yeah, for some reason, it just seemed to get glitchy. This seems to be some kind of... Well, let's read it. There is a branch available to you of Belgium, and this happens to find themselves at war. Oh, it's the war branch, just like I was going to say. Perhaps by the Germans invading them to get around the Maginot. Should this occur, the Congo will be able to gain strong time bonuses to help Belgium rearm in the Great War. Oh, the new Great War, I was going to say. The old Great War's over. The Congo and the war in Europe. So just helping get some American investments, change the currency, helping the British, safeguard Portuguese Congo. Do you think this gives you that little state just north of Congo? Do you know what I mean? That little tidbit. Spain needs that in the communist tree. Make peace with the USSR. And it does. It's in the Argentine thing, but I'm not sure how it works with the faction. But maybe it does work, and they got it working better. But does it work when they're in a faction? Or does it only require it when Argentina is independent? Not in a faction. Can't remember. But yeah, I imagine this is for that little tidbit, which is part of Angola. Prepare for offensive action. Ace generation chance. I'm experience gain. 100 weekly manpower. But if you're going communist, don't you get 500 manpower by touching a picture of Karl Marx? So maybe 600 manpower. Very, very good. Depends. if you're going independent and the war's begun. Emergency powers. Your country gets a new leader. The wartime powers. Oh no, it's not a new leader necessarily. It's a trait, because traits can be applied after the fact. So this is a trait you get. Very, very good. Getting 2 mills. Getting your plane set up. Interesting that Belgium is going to start making the greatest air force the world has ever seen. Recon aircraft focus. I am not wasting my money on a South America. I see. Recon aircraft focus has nothing on intel gains from spy planes. Or unlock spy planes. Huh. It works fine. I have done it as Argentina. Very good. I will take all of your word for it. I've always had interesting interactions in the past with focuses or decisions that make you piece something out, but it may not make you piece out a puppet, and then the puppet calls in their master, and then you just continue the war again. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced something like that in Hoi 4, but annoying. Annoying is the understatement of the year. Oh, and the Americans give us a sieve and a mill. Very wholesome. The armed forces of the Congo can't stay a colonial military police forever, and as such, after gaining independence or finishing Force Publique, can do the Army Nationale Congolese. Oh look, we get to see the focuses. That makes a nice change. This is their Air Force. Air experience gain, flat air experience gain, so that's in the middle. A brown water navy, that's here. Gives you a spirit. Form a generality to a fighting force. Equipment capture ratio modifier. Oh, this is improving the spirit. Society African exploitation gives you 2 mils. And boosts a MIO by 4. Isn't 4 a little bit ridiculous? 4's a lot, just saying. I mean, I guess Congo doesn't really have too much of a military, so they need to catch up. But at the same time, 4 is a lot. Very good. Anything else here? Specifically this? What are they cooking? What are they cooking? If you control all of the uranium, what you should do is make a global ban on uranium exports. So like everyone else in the world has like a minus 15% reduction to special projects, physics special projects, and you get plus 15% or something. So effectively you get a plus 30% advantage because the Congo refuses to sell their uranium anymore. That could be kind of funny. After becoming independent, there are a few different paths you can take. 40% democracy, 40% communism, or maybe nobody wins. Very, very good. Declaration of Congolese Unity, allow women in the military. Civil admin, linguistic divides. Building up the railways, shared focus. Oh. Are we not going to... Oh, first, before we show off the individual branches, show off the advisors. They always like to show off the advisors, but we never quite know what they do. Women in the army? Outrageous. Not in my Congo. Jesus Christ's special envoy. He had us an envoy. We have the power of God and anime on our side. Simon. Anti-imperialist thinker, colonial lawyers. Again, it's all cool. The exiled Tutsi king, that's very cool. It's all cool, but it's very annoying that you never quite know what they're doing. Corporate knights. They always give juicy information, of course, of course. Here's a lovely formable nation. A lovely one. You need basically this section of Latin America heading around. I mean, to be honest, you know, most of it feels structured towards strength anyway. You earn most of it. Not too crazy. Did Simon Kimbangu claim to be the reincarnation of Christ? So you make like God's kingdom with him, maybe. That could be funny. Latin Africa. True. The National Institute for Economic Study. Oh, these are the focuses from up here. Sorry, I lost track. So up here, these focuses, they gave a brief intermission. This is where you get your research slot, another civ, and tons of resources. 2 civs. Okay, this is your industry then. This is your strength after the fact industry, building up the nation, no longer a gigapuppet. And you get some interesting claims that probably help you towards a formidable nation. In the communist branch, you have 2 choices, a little bit more conflicty. Eventually leading up to forming the African Union. Okay, so that's going world star. While the other one is about spreading the revolution throughout the continent, potentially also joining the Comintern. So this is like Ethiopia. Banquist consider him to be the incarnation of the Holy Spirit. Very, very good. So this is probably going to be like Ethiopia with a hint of South Africa, the choice between coring Africa or liberating Africa and forming a giga faction. But I would remind you all that if you want your PCs to run normally, you should probably not make 50 different African nations spawn. All of them very quickly building troops, doing their focus trees. You know, it's funny. I can do it on my PC. I'm just saying, some people, you know, maybe shouldn't do it. Be able to use the purely Ethiopian African Union. Okay, they literally said what I was thinking already. African Union mechanics. Decisions have been changed to be cheaper for both countries. Oh, it's actually cheaper now. That's good. True, colonialism does make the game run faster. Wow. We found a benefit of colonialism. Crazy. What have we got here? We can become the People's Republic of the Congo. Stability, war support, political power gain, maybe some more bonuses that we don't know. Mobilization speed, which is a very minor buff, but if you need to get a giga army out, then with recruitable population it makes sense. So this is really about mobilizing the people quite quickly. Hold the Pan-African Congress. Huh. So these are the nations that are currently existing in Africa at this time period. I wonder if you hold off on this and wait until maybe... I wonder how it's calculated. Like, does the Italian East African department count as an African nation that you can make go independent? That could be quite funny. But other than that, it could be confusing. Also interesting with the British going decolonization. The African Union, you'll be known as the African Union, unlocks the decision to integrate elective council members into the African Union. Oh my goodness, this is a peaceful African Union. Maybe not a war one. If it's peaceful. Like, can I get South Africa in just because they exist? And if Ethiopia survives? And then can I do that in places that haven't been done yet? Maybe. Very powerful. Oh my goodness, we're finally getting to the end. I apologise everyone if this was too long. I was yapping way too much. Now for something a bit more unusual. In the case that a country cannot unite behind one school of thought, a council of ministers can be put together to convene a sole goal in mind. Get a king. Always get a king. To end the political chaos, and select a ruler who can take the nation in a better direction. They will attempt to select a ruler from one of the many regional monarchs in and around the Congo in an event chain similar to the Polish royal election events. It's interesting earlier that we were talking about how hidden focus tree branches can be annoying because you don't know what you're getting. And it's kind of a similar thing here with the Polish. You want to get a king or queen, but you don't actually know what their focus tree involves because two of the branches? There's the Russian one and there's the bear one. I think there's a bear monarch. So they're hidden. I guess they're kind of jokey, but at the same time it's just something to consider because now they're all hidden, right? A focus branch will then appear depending on who you decide on in the events. So you'll have no idea what you want. You just have to guess by their names, which are these lovely 6 characters down here. We do get to see 2 of the branches. There's Dom Pedro the 7th, Mo Sislak the 3rd, Mutara III Rudahigwa. This is a guy, by the way, isn't it? Kind of makes them look a bit like a woman, but I'm certain this is a guy. The best looking character, Bop Ma Bing Ink Ma Beckett, perhaps. We've got Wabat here we go. Wam Butsa the fourth, Bangirisenge, maybe, and then Yuhi the fifth, Musinga. I need something alcoholic after that, my goodness. Yes, they do have some fantastic... This is great. I have no idea what's going on here, but I love all of it. I'm a little bit ignorant, so forgive me, but I always thought these kind of hats were like Nigerian, kind of like a West African Nigerian look. But I guess I'm wrong. This is also Congolese. And now I'm wondering to what extent these kind of hats exist over the wider, African cross-section. I'm not sure. They have a specific name, these kind of hats, Okay, that's hat chat. The Mao Loanga, well, this guy's got a hand, and there's the hand. So if you go with Mo Sislak, reclaim the Loanga, the King's Divine Power. Okay, so this is between dictatorial or kind of a council. Two war focuses. Okay, pretty chill, really. The hat review. Has anybody done a tier list of Hoi4 hats? Is that a thing on YouTube? The hats of Hoi4 tier list? That could be like an April Fool's video. I should write that down. April Fool's 2025. Tier listing all hats. But if somebody's done it, I'm not going to do it. I bet somebody's done it. It's too obvious, right? The Umwari of Rwanda. Huh. Hoi4 drip tier list. Exactly. Yeah, you rate the hats. Hat review. Depending on how trendy the hat is. I'm not sure who the Umwami of Rwanda is, but I'm guessing it's this person. They give me Rwanda vibes. Reclaim Kigali. Centralized military structure, an expansionist state. Cattle chiefs or military chiefs. Tutsi warrior training. The banana implantations, and East Africa. So there is something to do with forming East Africa. See, now I'm going to push it even further, because if you go with Rwanda, who I assume is this person, then you might have access to both Latin America and East Africa as a formable nation, which is getting pretty close to being able to call Africa as a monarchy. Because I want to call Africa, but I want to be a monarchy. I want to be the king of Africa, I don't want to be the People's Democratic Communist Republic of social ideas in Africa. I want to be king of Africa. Latin America, I don't know what I said. What did I say? Did I not say Latin America? I apologize. It's 1 a.m. Just so everybody's clear. It's 1 a.m. And that is everything. Oh my goodness. Okay. Next time it's going to be Germany Alt History. I've actually already recorded my Germany Alt History video, and I've already started editing it. So pray for me that I get it all done. Pray for me. Let's see if we can get down to some developer replies. Oh, they divided them between who replied. Does the Congo... Oh, okay. We'll do replies. I thought you'd all be sick of me, Truly. Does the Congo have a special unit model? They have their own. If the Netherlands follows the neutral branch of the tree and annexes Belgium and Luxembourg, what happens to the Congo? Does it become independent? That's interesting. Yeah, because if you annex it, if you annex Belgium peacefully, Congo can just snap into independence. That could be pretty good, couldn't it? But it could also be really annoying if you're making your way down the focus tree for working with Belgium and you're like one focus away from getting something and Belgium is doing it and it's one of those gated focuses and then the Netherlands just annexes them and screws you over, kind of screws you. Will Congo Free State give cause to Belgium? Nope, but maybe compliance. A tiny technical question. Oh, here we go. Thanks, Henrius, for this. What does happen if both Belgium and the Congo try to complete the same mutual focus at the same time? Will it finish with double speed, not in a million years? Or will it be slower, be somehow penalised? There's no refunded time. Or is it just not possible? You won't be able to select it if the other has started it. There we go. I knew it. Because isn't this how this works with joint focus trees in Sweden? The Nordics. You can't start it if another person has started it. MH Gamer. So far it looks really good, but what about a fascist branché? It's a French tree, you know? There is no co-op players timing hitting enter at the same time. True. They're trying to create a Matrix event. There is no main fascist branché due to the lack of parties and potential leaders for such an ideology in the Congo at the time, without making large leaps in logic. But there may be a monarchist branch. Okay. So one of these lads is fascist. One of them. Any bets on who we think it is? I mean, it could be this one. You know? But maybe it's a little bit more clear. Dom Pedro. When I always think of Doms, I'm thinking of like the Mexican mafia, the cartel. That's what I'm thinking of. Maybe he's he's got a cartel about him. Maybe. Does the Congo have a special unit model? There he is. He's got a red hat. He's in Stanleyville. Very good. Some Congolese generals got a nice hat on. This guy is the only guy who dressed for where he's going. All these other people did not dress for the occasion. The hand is on the current Fash game flag for the Congo. Ooh, Prob L knows his very obscure Hoifall logic. It's this one, you think? Ooh. Maybe. Imagine knowing that. Prob L. What's the last piece of grass you've touched? How do you know the fascist Congolese flag in Hoifall? Just like that, you just knew it. I'm very sus of you now. Tell me, what are the colours of the communist Bhutan focus tree? There you go. Let's find out. Leopold dressed for the Congo. Here's Leopold, looking good. Deconric, yep. 5 attack. Level 4. Harsh. But he doesn't gain experience very much. And our man does. This guy is goofy. Why does he look so goofy? He looks like something out of like a Monty Python sketch. It's good to see that only 3 people have actually dressed for the Congo. Very good. Why was Communist Congo called the People's Republic? Didn't hear the question. Don't worry, I was just being silly. I was just teasing you. Communist Bhutan is red with a white dragon. Oh no, somebody else has shown you up. I don't know if that's true, but I believe you. Why is the Communist Congo called the People's Republic of the Congo and not Zaire? Wouldn't the latter name make more sense? Because the People's Republic of the Congo was the name that the Communist Simba movement wanted to call the state if they had won the Congolese Civil War. So there's like a historical underwriting. Will all Belgian leaders, generals and advisors be removed when the Congo becomes independent so we don't end up with another Raj situation? Huh. And regarding a fast tree, would something similar be for South Africa now make sense? I don't want to go into detail, but doesn't that make sense? Or something into an ultra-capitalist state controlled by the Union? And will Katanga be releasable? Belgium staying or going independent a bit on how you attain independence if it's done for peaceful means. Huh. So basically, he ignored the bit about a South Africa rework. He just ignored it. Wait, that one country is a Kulturkrieg thing. I have no idea. But there it is. Oh, this person is so happy. Look how happy they look. This has to be the happiest person in Hoi 4. I can think... There's that mod that Isoris Production uses where everybody's like very goofy looking. They're so happy. What about the Finland leader? Is there a happier Finland leader? There's nobody more happy than this person. Goodness. Very good. Conacat. No sieves, no mills, no dockyards, no neighbours that aren't going to completely destroy you. Only 10k manpower. Fantastic. Hearts of Sigma, is that what it's called? He has 4 rubber. Hey, he's going to make a great nation with that 4 rubber, I promise you. Very good. Nice, but Tushombe was only 17 years old in 1936. This is Tushombe. Yes, that is why we tried to make him look younger in the portrait than his actual picture. Oh, they like youngified him. Hanks for the dev diary. Can we see Congo's MIOs, intelligence agencies, etc.? Okay, there are all the MIOs. I don't really care about this sort of stuff. I apologize if you're like super interested into like the time period. It's funny that it says Cockerill, but yeah. Is this... I'm sorry, I just saw it. An armored car MIO? BFFR. Who's using armored cars? Really? 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 Is there a tank designer in here? Okay, with peace and love to Paradox. Please do not hate me, Paradox. No hate. Did you not make like tungsten and stuff? And, you know, stuff? But I'm trying to think, like, this isn't a tank. This is rocket-propelled artillery. There's no tanks. And light tanks, just as icy-intensive as armoured cars. I mean, maybe, but I think I'd rather have a light tank over an armoured car, but maybe it's due to supply. Maybe armoured cars work out better in the jungle. Maybe. Huh. Interesting. Maybe this isn't everything, though. I just think it's funny. Okay. Industrial concerns. The Rawij Group. Very good. Transport company. Railways. Maybe helps build convoys. Build transport planes. And then probably the rest is research, development, construction speed. Resource gain efficiency. Also resource gain efficiency. Supply hubs too, I'm almost certain. And then you get a unique thing, the Service National Identification Ed Pro. Oh, there may be more. Very good. With what autonomy does the Congo start? They start as a colony with 200. Very good. I mean, it was to be expected. I thought this was obvious, but okay. One question. Some of the figures in the event descriptions, such as these people, were minors at the game start, a 9-year-old. Will there be time gates? First thing, there are a few time gates for them, though not that harsh. It is a bit of a liberty. As for Kimbagu, no, he can't be a country leader, but here is him as an advisor. Oh, the Jesus guy, and he can't be a leader. So you can't make God's country. Oh, no God's, you know, Jesus Christ reborn, Holy Spirit, papal state, eat your hearts, Jesus has returned. Damn. Never lucky. There'll be a mod. Which focus tree will Congo miners have? The usual generic focus tree, special miner tree. They have generic trees. What's the destiny of Rwanda and Burundi if Congo declares independence? They might have some opinions about being part of an independent. Ooh, they do go independent. It's a shame there's not a third option here that says go play as them. You know? This would be like a nice off point for you to leave. you could like gimp your nation, destroy your army, destroy your industry, and then there's a nice third option here for go play as Rwanda or Burundi and then go take down the other. Peter and Simon. It's true, there are two children, aren't there? I'm not sure how old Elizabeth was, Queen Elizabeth II. I think she maybe just turned like, she's an adult. Will the Congolese units have their own voiceovers, and if so, what language would that be? Yes, and it's French. Very good. MIOs. For question 2, is there a way for Congo to gain an admiral? They have to use the promote one. There is no Belgium-Congo admirals. Why are the Ruckman path and independent paths not mutually exclusive? Oh yes, you can do both. I did notice that. There are 2 different overlaps, and you can do them both. Oh, how long is this? Fam! You really want me to read all of this? Oh, I'm not reading. This is ridiculous. Usually I would like quickly skim it and look for the best parts. I'm like going through all of it. Why didn't they mention war crimes? Blah blah blah. Uranium focus. Independent, democratic. Can somebody become your country leader? Nobody's an advisor. Does Congo have calls on them or gain them? Who's them? Does Congo have calls on them or can they gain them? They don't start with calls on Rwanda or Burundi, but they are indeed paths. So earlier, I'm not going to bed. I'm not going to bed for hours, my friend. Not at all. What I'm going to do after this is I'm going to go watch a CK3 video. I might not even end the stream. I'm just going to watch the CK video straight up. Technically, it's not my birthday anymore, actually, because the time zone skipped over. So you don't get calls in Rwanda or Burundi, which is important because earlier we were talking about that resistance target rising, which means this is going to be rising, right? You're like it could be the case that there are focuses that make Rwanda and Burundi more likely to rebel. Interesting indeed. How does the supply map look? Any way to get more supply hubs from the focus tree? They start with a port and 3 supply hubs in the main cities. This is to be expected. One cannot expect to go into the Congo and have a good time. It is the heart of darkness. Upon gaining independence or becoming a dominion, will you get to rename Leopoldville to something more Congolese? Yes. I mean, I'd hope so. But it's Leopoldville there. Could we get a look at the Congo states? What are these flags? Huh? Nan desu ka? Nani? これは No. あれは何ですか? Could we get a look at the Congo states? Well, what are these things? Is this like who owns the true core claimant? If that's the case, wouldn't it also be the case that multiple nations can have cores on the same territory? Like Italy? Or Brittany? Or Scotland? Would Scotland, if you played England and look at a state map mode, would it have like Scottish flags in the north? Sorry, that is weird. Oh, it's always the next thing. It's always the next thing. I should just shut up. I should just stop speaking and just read it. Whose side would they join in independence war? Incredible. No, hello Eater Meat. Interesting username. You've come at the end. Apparently it's who they would join if an independence war were to happen, like Belgium, independent Congo. Interesting. So in the event of an independence war, every single person would side with you. Wouldn't that mean that the war would be over instantly because they said something about like certain states flipping over immediately? God, that's funny, isn't it? Awesome stuff. More excitement in flavor. May we see some more handsome generals? They're already there. Will Rwanda and Burundi have portraits? They start as non-aligned with their respective king. Seen in the end dev diary. Oh, so those people that we saw are the new leaders of Rwanda and Burundi. Are there releasables inside the Congo? There's Rwanda, Burundi, and Katanga. I'm losing my voice. Barotseland. What is Barotseland? Okay, there's a new releasable nation here, for those who are interested. Oh god, I'm trapped. Help me. Sokoto. Ooh, I know where this is. This is like in EU4, right? Oh god, where's Sokoto? Shut up. Where's Sokoto? Shut up. It's... Shut up. You're thinking, and it's distracting me. Oh god. Oh god. Where's Sokoto? Is it Nigeria? Oh god. Where is it? It's Nigeria! Get in there! I knew it. I knew it was in Nigeria. Oh. And Biafra. I'm not even going to cosplay like I knew where that is. Somewhere in West Africa. Oh, also Nigeria. Okay, so Nigeria could be maybe be broken up even more. Very good. Nigerian Civil War, maybe. It still bothers me that when they were independent, they briefly used a Finnish song. Well, I wonder why on earth you would know that. Suspect. It's such a shame that as Britain you can't release Nigeria. When I was originally playing the game, Nigeria was like my go-to African nation to play, and you can't do it anymore. It's so sad. Both countries have had the African Union work better. Can they show the effects of the Great War of Africa? You gain claims on a ton of places, and war goals to take them, my goodness. So basically, going to war with the Allies at that point. Maybe you can get away with Spain and Portugal, but France is a difficult one. And lastly, I understand correctly, if you gain independence through the colonial branch by taking the Republic of Congo, yes. What happens in that case? Do you unlock the post-independence branch, or can you complete some independence focuses? Oh, it becomes locked. So the independence focuses become locked once you go for independence. So make sure you get all of the ones you want to get done for the bonuses, and then go independent. Could I, as the Congo, go through the colonial branch, complete Congo's place in the world? Yes. Okay, this is so technical, it's like nothing. Okay. And with that, absolute nightmarishly long dev diary that took way longer than it had any right to do, I will say thank you very much for watching this goofy live stream. What do we think? I think, from everything we've seen, it's probably better than a lot of the traditional dominions. You know, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. Canada's pretty good these days. It's better. It's definitely better. India is, of course, terrible. But nothing is quite as bad as New Zealand, Australia. It's got an interesting mechanic. I'm interested to find out how frustrating it's going to be, because it's all very well and good looking at something, but the playtesting is very different. And it might be the case that you get down to here and you want to do, like, I'm just being hypothetical, but just work with me here. You're playing as you're playing as the Congo, and you want to do Rwanda Urundi. And then for some reason, Belgium starts it before you. Are there different bonus outcomes depending on who starts the focus, or are they always the same? Because with things like the joint focus tree of the Nordic Union thing, the defense of the joint focus tree in Scandinavia, whoever starts the focus gets a better reward than who doesn't start the focus. So I'm worried that some of these focuses, depending on who completes them, might screw you over more than help you, and thus, you know, you get annoyed. Additionally, focuses where you need Belgium to do something, and they don't do it. I think the Nordic shared focus tree is for multiplayer. I really think it's fun in multiplayer, but beyond multiplayer, it's an interesting one, definitely. Always the same, but different bonuses for each side. Yeah, I know there are different bonuses for each side, but you haven't seen every single focus problem. It could be the case that one of these focuses might give a better benefit depending on who starts it, you know? Because that is true in the Nordic focus tree. But what is 100% true is some of these gated focuses, like the Antwerp Diamond District, could be really annoying if you wanted to get golden diamonds done. Wholesome little solve problems tree. Split between, what is this, 4 key sections. Building up the military, pretty standard. I have nothing to say about it because it's just a standard military tree. Interesting section to do with if Belgium goes to war and you're kind of forced into a war with Europe. This seemed to give actually pretty good buffs, didn't it? Like, if Belgium gets invaded, you get good buffs. It's kind of mean, isn't it? Like, you want Belgium to get invaded, and then you take advantage of it, and maybe even get North Angola. What a steal. Colonial branch, for when you're currently a colony, working towards, on the right, independence, but here, just current things within the system. You've got mutual exclusivity between a peaceful revolution versus war revolution. The Allied powers want a war to progress through the focus tree. They do. But, you know, I think for Belgium it's a little bit more stressy having Germany declare war on you than, let's say, the Congo, you know? And then finally, a democratic section, and a communist section, and then a monarchy section, which also is the sub-Fash branch. Not huge, but I would say that the majority of the tree feels like it implies you're going to be spending the game as a colony. And there is like a finite amount of content for not being a colony, which is interesting because down in the bottom right we see the African Union, and that feels like that would take quite a long time to do. So I just wonder if there's like enough content within that scope that you don't get very quickly bored, like trying to get to the African Union, but by the time you've got to the African Union, it's 1944, and the game's kind of already over. Maybe Germany's kind of on the back foot, the Soviets are pushing in, and you're like, finally, I can start my African Union. And like the game is over. You know, you're running at half the speed, and you're kind of angry. Oh no, I can't do it. And then you're kind of annoyed. So again, this is all comes down to playtesting. We need Liechtenstein. I don't think Liechtenstein's in the game. I don't think it's in the game. Nope. Okay. I am so out of breath. I'm so out of breath. It's crazy. I think I'm gonna just Netflix and chill for a little bit as things come to an end. Oh my goodness. What do we all think then? Opinions. It's time for opinions. Oh my goodness, that was so many words, wasn't it? Congo might be fun. Should be better than Turkey. Turkey is so long. Low bar. 2 countries doing the 70-day focuses instead of 1. That helps, I guess. You like Turkey. Interesting. I think Turkey is just such a slow burn. Do you like my bear? He's a little bear friend. I just keep him here. Greece is bad. Not liking Greece. That's valid. My goodness. Where are my 28-day focuses at? They're gone. They don't exist anymore. I mean, there were some 35-day focuses in there. Just not too many. Just not too many. Okay. Thank you for liking my bear friend. There is an 84-day focus. Hey, if you go to the Dutch focus tree, there's is it 210-day focus? I think 210. I think that's the biggest. It's just good, nothing super amazing. I think I agree. There's nothing too crazy to write home about here. Oh my god, the original Great Purge! I forgot about the original Great Purge focus. You're so right. How do you remember all this? I just completely blocked it out. I block everything out, you know? I discard it. Useless old information. True, the Great Purge used to be 210 days. That was such a great time, wasn't it? He says, smiling to himself. I got the game for La Resistance. I got the game because of... Oh, can I show you? Maybe I can show you. God, I feel it was ages ago. Was it really this one? It can't have been. When did Hoi 4 release? Okay, maybe it was this video. You got 5,700 hours. That's many hours. That's a lot of hours. It released in 2016. Okay, then this is the video that one sec. I'll bring you all in. This is the video that got me to play Hoi 4. This one right here.
Mein Freund!
Welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. World War II is no laughing matter, period.
Oh, you're right,
facts.
I'm sorry, we were talking about this.
Super, lots of
2016.
people had a really bad time.
What are you talking about? It's
World War II.
hilarious. It was like the most fun war. It was like full of thrills and chills and spills.
That's how I learned, yeah, Yogscast. That's how I learned about Hoi 4. This video. Crazy. 2016. Was this just as the game had come out then? This went out on their main channel. Hoi 4 on the Yogscast main channel. That's crazy. Huh. So I found out about the game a month after it came out. Interesting. I was there pretty early on then. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. You can all leave now. We're done. We're done here. Thank you very much. It came out on D-Day 2016. Did it? That was a good timing by them. Goodbye, everyone. Very true. Goodbye. Leave now. There's no reason to stay. There's no reason to stay because I'm definitely not going to be watching this video.
Wandering Noble.
Yeah, I want to watch what this. I want to see what this guy has to say. This is just going to be me looking at this. Good. Go to bed. Hoi 4 is over. We're done here. There's nothing left to watch. Leave. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Leave. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Like. Subscribe. Bye. I don't have that. You know that little bye I do at the end. Bye. That's my bye. Bye. Okay. Is Wandering Nobles any good? Let me find out. Let's find out what this guy has to say.
Well, the final DLC of CK3 Chapter 3 is here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about its features and my general impressions of it after playing for a few hours and letting you know if it's worth it. Without further ado, let's just jump into the new lifestyle tree for the wandering lifestyle. It's quite interesting. So you have the internal affairs focus, you have the journey focus, and you have the destination focus. The three trees definitely seem to have different purposes. Internal affairs you could almost consider like a second stewardship mixed with a little bit with martial tree, because the inspector activity, which we'll talk about a little more in a second.
Does everyone like CK3? Who stayed? I wonder who stayed. So this is the new DLC for CK3, Wandering Nobles. Just before I ended stream, I was just going to look through it and give and just see what's going on. I was going to do this privately. You're still here. Do you like CK3, Liam? Are you big into CK3? CK3 is like the only other thing I do, right? And I haven't really had time to even touch it, and this seems to be the main review. So just kind of, I have played it, but I'm interested what his vibe is, and then I'm going to look at the comments, and then I'm going to end stream.
Second, deals a lot more with just your realm, deals a lot more with integrating other people with your realm, kind of like a stewardship thing, but it also can increase county control. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. I will say I don't necessarily think that this tree is that strong. I think some of the features of it, like increasing domain taxes if you travel somewhere, or like increasing realm secrecy, depending on places that you travel.
So he's already wrong. He's already wrong. No, peace and love. No drama. I'm not trying to start drama. Okay? But he's wrong. Can we agree? Can we agree that he's wrong? Okay? So, let's go.
Also can increase county control. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. I will say I don't necessarily think that this tree is that strong.
I don't think this tree is that strong. Proceeds to show a focus that just casually gives you domain limit. Just gives you domain limit. The most powerful stat in the game. You know, just nothing. Just not strong, really. What? Hello?
Strong. I think some of
It just casually gives you 10% domain tax for doing nothing. Just 10% domain tax. In a game that already has 1 million stat bonuses, another major stat boost, as well as from minor landholder. So basically, anybody who owns a castle in your land, more gold. You owning anything, more gold. You own a mine that gives you 5 gold, it now gives you 5.5 gold. What did you do to earn? Nothing. You just... Nothing. 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 You didn't do anything. Sorry.
of the features of it, like increasing domain taxes if you travel somewhere, or like increasing realm secrecy.
And then you have more domain limit, meaning you can also hold more things that gain more domain tax from things that you're holding because you own more, because an exponential growth. And I'm slowly losing my mind. Sorry.
Depending on places that you've traveled, or like your domain limit, are pretty cool. But overall, I think the inspector tree is like the second best one. The wayfarer, or the one that's focused on hiking, the journey focused, the storyteller, it's
the worst.
It's okay.
It's the worst.
I think that this one's the
it
weakest.
Is. He's
and I'll
right.
talk about that more when we get to the activity.
It is the
but
worst.
I don't necessarily love this one. I wasn't even really that crazy about the hiking system in general. I thought it was fine.
It's not great. It's not great. The hiking system is not great. It's very not great.
This one deals a lot more with just traveling in general, traveling and telling stories, which could be cool if you were trying to roleplay as like a bard or something, like a bardic ruler. That's always fun. But Wayfarer is mostly just traveling as a means to travel. It's not really about anything else about sharing stories. And before I continue, there was one thing that I didn't necessarily like about this. So if you come over here, there are 3 new activities. You have the hike, you have the inspection, and you have the monument expedition. You'll notice that inspection, storytelling, and journey are the ways that you unlock. I'm not sure how other people feel about this. I wasn't crazy about the fact that you would have to, if you wanted to do all of them with one character, you would have to unlock 11 different prerequisites. And
he's using Oblivion music. He's not crazy about it. I think it's fine. Especially when these activities are so... That's my reaction. That side that I just did, that was my reaction to the activities. So him saying he's annoyed that he doesn't have access to all of them is kind of like, well, you don't need to have access to all of them. They're kind of just like nice treats you get on the side.
3 more in order to get them all. That's going to take you a long time, especially for a tree that's kind of out of the way. I would assume most people are probably never going to touch the Wayfarer one just in general, because it's kind of not that great.
I would say it's so mid.
They're focused on Inspector. If you have a big realm, like I'm playing as the Holy Roman Emperor.
Yes. What?
My family.
What do you mean? What do you mean I'm getting an advert? This guy is getting ad revenue from me. I mean, he deserves it because I'm watching his video on YouTube, so it makes sense that I would watch the ad and then he gets it. But I cannot believe this. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me ever. Okay.
Makes the most sense. Or if you're maybe somebody who wants to explore and get some really crazy bonuses. I will say I think the Voyager tree is easily the strongest one because of some of its bonuses. But the Voyager tree is really great. There's also a couple other...
I disagree completely. The Inspector tree is easily the most powerful. It's a stat overbearing growth. You gain... Listen, look at this. Look at what's on his screen right now. Sorry, if anybody in this chat plays CK3, look at what is on the screen right now. You gain development and control, forget the control, in owned counties, when you host an activity in them, okay, you gain 50 dev. If you get personal touch, you get 75 dev. Basically, not including development growth bonuses on top of that, you gain 1 full development point for hosting an activity somewhere. And you can loop it. Okay? So if anybody knows CK3, you need to get like 100 dev is the max. And there are ways to like, how do I get tons of dev? Oh, I know. Why don't I just do 2 single points into this tree and I get 50 dev for hosting an activity in my capital? I think there's a cooldown of 3 years, but look at it this way. This whole game is like activities. Hosting hunts, hosting feasts, hosting funerals, hosting grand weddings, hosting grand tournaments. All of it hosting. And there's immediately a perk in this tree that makes you max level dev just for doing things. Is that not like super powerful? I don't know how he can say this isn't the most powerful tree. I'm fascinated to think what he thinks about Voyager.
Cool features of each of
Smiley
these,
face.
which we'll talk about, allowing you to travel with like a personal army is pretty cool, which I can't remember which one. Okay, that's in the Voyager one. Again, the Voyager one is crazy.
It's not crazy. He's lying to you. This man is lying to you in 4K. All it gives you is 5% defense and 5%, like 5 travel speed and 5 defense. It gives you nothing. It gives you nothing. He is saying words. Do not believe, okay?
So you can swing the scales of power while you're traveling. You can reduce the cost, increase the range. You can obviously
Learn language. Wow, crazy.
go to a monument expedition, which does a
Now,
lot.
the monument expedition is broken. I want to say, this might be the most powerful tree, but this is undoubtedly the most powerful activity. This is broken.
Of different things. Basically, it can give you a skill point just for wandering somewhere, and also you can get like new courtiers, like crazy amounts of court positions I've filled by doing this, and they were all amazing. You can increase your capital development. You can increase people's opinion, which I will say the Wayfarer one is good for that too, because you can gain a lot of fame from this tree. I noticed that my fame was increasing, just like, yeah, you may gain fame from
This was pretty good. If you really want to do Legends, especially the exploit where you try and become an immortal god, this is pretty good. But anything below this point, I did not care for.
travel and hike events. This is probably the best part of
He's
this.
right.
I will say I still think it's the weakest.
right.
I think these two are better. I
He's
think
right.
Inspectors actually might be the best one, only because
Oh, he gave up. He realized that I called him out. I called his opinion wrong. And he got embarrassed. And then he admitted that he was wrong. You see? You see? I knew. He's wrong. And he knew he was wrong. And he realized he had to say that he was wrong.
it deals with your realm a lot more, and it integrates well with like a stewardship focused character, but that's obviously going to be up to you and how you play. I think Journey is cool. They're all realistically cool. So
They're
let's
not
just jump
all
into the new
realistically cool. The Wayfarer one in the middle is not realistically cool. Thank you.
activities. So hiking is mostly used as a
This is
way
the middle
to
one.
reduce stress, is a way to increase opinion, and a way to increase your fame. And that's just in general what that perk tree is for anyway. You can also get like the Wise Man perk and increase it through experience that way, which is cool. I think this is a good way for people who have like a shy character to lose stress so that they have a way to do that, because otherwise I think it was just hunting and feasting and maybe going to like the university or a pilgrimage. But if you're shy, your character doesn't really want to do any of those things. But this one should be fine because you can just go on a hike by yourself. I think the mechanic is pretty cool, pretty straightforward. I will say, if you're doing this for the first time, this will not be immediately apparent, but
Why
you
is
can
his
hike
game
anywhere within your
lagging?
realm. And as you can see, it's a little buggy if your realm is kind of big.
Oh,
but you basically just
that's why.
click somewhere, and then you'll be able to travel there that way. I wanted to stress that just because I feel like people are going to be confused. So when you see it and you load up your realm and it's just showing you in the center, you don't have to just hike in the middle of your realm. You can just click somewhere, and then you can hike there that way. And I will show you now just because I have them all. So Private Army,
Here it is. This is what he said was crazy good, by the way. This is what he thought was crazy good. Really? 5 speed, 5 safety? Really?
gives you obviously a travel bonus, and it's free. So it's kind of like hiring mercenaries, which is nice that there's a
It's
now
not
a
like
free-
hiring mercenaries, because mercenaries give you 4 times the buff, right? For a very small amount of gold, and you only get to pick 2 travel options, only 2. And you're wasting one of your travel options on something that's a quarter as good. What? No, it isn't good. It's not good at all.
Free option for that is appeasement.
That is okay. Appeasement is okay. If you stack up Major Tyranny, this is okay.
Which will decrease dread and decrease monthly tyranny. There is Mellow Journey, which makes it so that you get more fame for every holding you reach. So if you're like a person, like as you can see, I've traveled quite a bit and I've seen a few of the sites. So you'll get fame every time you hit a location, which is honestly, it can be pretty crazy, especially if you're doing like a long pilgrimage. You could be gaining levels like wild. I mean, I've only been playing the game for like 12 years. I've only given myself a few perks, and he's already got legendary figures. So
in his defense, of the character's defense, you are playing as the Holy Roman Empire. So you are probably going to get a lot of buffs. But sure, I guess.
It's kind of insane. And then you can also get like tutoring tips, which is cool. Like while you're traveling, you can give them skill increases, which is nice. I think it's really neat.
The tutoring trips is good. That was a good addition.
So the hiking, it's, as you can see on screen, it's okay. None of the events are particularly long. I think all of them usually will have like 3 or 4 stopping points.
They're not very interesting.
Where they'll talk about certain things, have you decide certain things, and then, you know, that'll determine its success or its failure. I would say that the success of most of them was pretty straightforward. You'll lose stress most of the time, maybe gain a little bit of fame. It's nothing crazy. The hiking one is definitely the least interesting one. Yeah. But if you're somebody, like I said, who wants to maybe increase fame, maybe you want to play as like a bard or something, because the storyteller does a little bit more than that too. It gives you some options while traveling.
I can't believe this. He's getting his ad revenue.
That could be pretty cool.
You can't blame me. I'm not a scumbag. I'm giving him his ad revenue.
We'll say, before we proceed, that I noticed quite a bit more travel events. Like I had one where one of my courtiers turned out to be a murderer. I don't remember ever seeing this before. And there was like multiple events within that chain itself. So it's cool. There's new actual just travel events, which I think the game really needed. So just in terms of that, I would already say it's worth it. So let's jump to the next activity, and I'm going to say that's going to be inspection. Now, inspection's pretty cool because I'm going to pop it up on the screen.
Inspection is not necessarily the most powerful, but it seems to be a significant win more mechanic. Cash money, baby. He's getting his money from me. It seems to be a win more mechanic. So if you've already got a powerful realm, doing an inspection just makes it more powerful. And I'm interested to see how he covers this at the end.
Really fast. So as you can see, you can do some like border territories, and it'll tell you if you have like low county control, which is really interesting because when you go there, you can decide, oh, I'm going to increase the levies that are stationed there, or oh, I'm going to increase the county control, or oh, I'm going to get a claim on an adjacent county, like say it's just a little country or something, and then you could try to vassalize them just by diplomacy. As you can see, I've vassalized pretty much everybody in my general area. I didn't go to war once throughout this little run just because I wanted to try out the new features, and they're pretty sweet. I do like this one a lot. I think the inspection could be maybe a little bit longer. I would like it to be a little bit more like a grand tour, which it kind of reminded me of, like a mini grand tour.
Yeah, it is. It's a mini grand tour. Yeah.
And a bunch of locations, you're kind of just focusing on one.
Look at this. Look at this. Just getting money. Just for doing an activity, it just gives you money. And then you use the money from this activity to do another activity. Do you see what I mean by like a win more mechanic? Like, if you have the money and time and space to do an inspection, you're probably already doing well enough that this is going to like snowball you.
You're working on, it's kind of like the tax visits for the admin government, which I will say that this is cool that you now kind of have this option.
But the tax visits in the government are not guaranteed. People can turn you away. People can rob you. There are bad things. I feel like with this, you just win.
It on your own. I think that you're going to get a lot of benefit out of this one as a ruler of any big realm, or just any realm in general.
Oh, look at this development growth increases by 50. And remember what I said earlier about the thing, the thing, because you go on the things, control level, inspected taxes. So it's all stacking dev, and you're like getting stronger. Oh, why? What are they doing?
Trying to play as a diplomatic ruler, it's going to be a no-brainer. And then the last one we have is Monument Expedition.
He said that playing as a diplomatic ruler, this is a no-brainer. I assume he means playing as a stewardship ruler. This is a no-brainer, not a diplomatic ruler. What is a diplomat ruler going to do with an inspection? You would do a grand tour. Sorry, he probably misspoke.
And as you can see, it goes off of your diplomatic range, which is still pretty big. I mean, I'm in the middle of Germany up here, and I have just so many. I've gone to like Petra. I've gone...
Yes, but the Holy Roman Empire extends into Italy at this time period, meaning you have access from here to here. So I think he's overestimating his size because he's playing an empire. If he played as a single county, he would have a much smaller diplomatic range.
To the Rock of Gibraltar, and I've gone up to Hadrian's Wall. Those were the 3 that I did in this run. And I will say it's interesting because they all have, as you can see on screen, they have like a little bit of a unique flavor text for each of them, which I think is a nice touch. It's nothing crazy. It's mostly just like one screen.
Yeah,
so...
it's not crazy. I was semi-disappointed by the text for these locations just being a single line of text acknowledging what the monument is. When I saw Monument Expedition, I was kind of hoping it would be... I mean, maybe I'm pushing it, but the background would be the monument. If I go to the pyramids, I want to see the pyramids. If I go to Petra, I want to see Petra. But maybe it would have been too much for the art team to make so many different monuments. But maybe like the major ones. The Colosseum, the pyramids, Petra, Constantinople, they kind of already have done. So maybe you can reuse the asset from there. I don't know. It's just... It's like... Does this look to you like Petra? Or does this look to you like I'm in some random market in the Middle East? Because this to me is a random market in the Middle East and I've met a woman. Not the ancient city of Petra, carved into red rose cliffs. You know? There's like a disconnect here.
It gives you sort of a general textual vibe, like flavor of how the location is, how it looks or whatever. And I thought it was pretty sweet. I like this one, I think, objectively the most, although it's also because it gives you skill points.
Yeah.
And it also gives you just an insane amount of courtiers and, you know, just like court positions that you can be filled. And it was honestly ridiculous how many times I was going through getting court positions filled and then just having these strong hooks on these people because I told them they could work for me. It just seemed kind of...
You go to a place, you pick a place on the map as a special place, you go there, and you have 2 options. You can raise your percentage chance to gain a bonus skill point, or you get a courtier with a strong hook on them for free. Besides the price of going. That's it. There's no anything. And damn, every time I think about this, I'm like, here's what I would have done. If you go to the pyramids in Egypt, you know how the pyramids in Egypt have those like tombs with the booby traps and you die in them and then there's like the false back traps inside the things? And I'm like, why not make an event chain where you go in there and you have to make decisions about, do I continue deeper into the expedition of the monument and potentially risk my life and die for the chance at a reward? But it's not like that at all. It's just you go there and you either get a skill point or you get friends. And I think the game, CK3, is at its best when it puts your life as like a resource that you play with. Your dynasty is a resource. How many player characters do you have alive? And, you know, with stuff like Legends of the Dead and Diseases, you think that plagues are supposed to combat that. But it seems less and less like they are a resource. And so it's just annoying to me because what I would like is adventuring into monuments for secret treasures and then dying trying to get them. And it's not like that at all. Oh god, I'm so sorry. Oh god, why?
But it's a way that you can just fill your court up, and I think that's great. Instead of having to scrape the barrel with some randos, you now have this giant room of excellent people, and it's a lot of fun. Overall, I think all the events are written pretty well. I like I said, I went through each of them about 3 or 4 times just to see with a variety, and I didn't really run into anything repeating, which is a good sign. I think the only thing
I did, but I played the game probably more than him.
Maybe this hunting event right here that you can see on screen. That was like the only thing that I can think noteworthy. Otherwise, everything was more or less pretty diversified, which I think is something that we've always harped on. Everybody's harped on with Crusader Kings 3. We want more diversity, and I think that this is trying to amend that a little bit, especially with the travel system. Because
that was so annoying.
Trying to...
He could have waited on the cut. If he waited on the cut to do this, I see what he's trying to go for. He's using the barbershop to make the cool backdrop for what he's doing, but he's been impatient and he didn't wait until the escape disappeared. Ooh, editing error. I stressed by looking at it. I stress.
Amend
And now
that
it's gone. He needed this to be the cut. This is when the cut comes in.
a little bit, especially with the travel system, because we've all been staring at it now for over a year, and we're kind of sick to death of looking at the same 5 events. So I think this is a good way of starting to rectify that. I have not seen all of the new travel events, but I'm very much looking forward to. And lastly, I want to talk about the new building type. So this is only for Catholics as far as I'm aware, and that is the storage cellar or the brewmaster, the breweries. This gives you a slight bonus to taxes, development, control growth, and popular opinion. And it also allows you to get a new core position, which is the court brewmaster. So if you come over here, they actually have options for this, guys. So they got regular duties. They have empty the cellars, which increases popular opinion. They have share with the court, which increases courtier and guest opinion. And then they also have this experimental brew one, which is interesting because it does like a random effect. I think it just rotates between these two, to be honest with you. But every like 5 months or 6 months, it just does something different, which I found very cool. I like this. I think they did say it's technically for everybody, but I know in the dev diary they specifically said this was for Catholics. So I guess your miles may vary if you're somewhere in like the Orthodoxy and you want to be a brewer. I would assume the building is still available. I'm not 100% sure. I've not tried it. But final verdict.
This is the bit. Oh my god, he's got 1 minute and 40 seconds to tell me whether it's good or not. I think let's see him. He says pretty good. Let's hear.
Just get to that. I think overall the DLC is very promising. I think that for $5, it's definitely worth it. It's an event pack. It was nothing crazy. It was never going to be anything crazy. I think it succeeded with what it was trying to do. I think the new events are pretty cool. I don't love that you have to unlock a ton of perks to try to get to them, but that's mostly a me thing. I think some people won't care and they'll be able to have now multiple playthroughs where maybe they focus on one each. Like I said, I would caution you against doing the hiking one unless maybe you have a shy character, because it's okay, it's fine at best. But again, don't let me sway you. You decide for yourself what you think is best and what you enjoy.
No,
but
own the opinion. It isn't good. You're right. You need to own the position. It is correct. It is objectively not the best at all, and is very weird.
You could do a lot worse, and I think expanding the events and the travel system and just having more things to do as a ruler in general with the travel system is always good, and that's going to be it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching.
Okay, yeah, I can leave this on this screen because this is good for me to end as well. No, it's the problem, and this is a continuing discussion that will maybe never end as I wrap up my stream, is that people seem to think there is a division between role-playing in CK3 and difficulty in CK3, and somehow it's okay to detach the game from a sense of difficulty if it means there is no positive role-playing. And I just fundamentally don't agree. Like, I think that it is through difficulty, maybe it's the Hoi 4 player in me, it is through difficulty that you can achieve great storytelling. Should there be options for people who don't want that kind of resistance? Absolutely. No, it shouldn't be a game where you're forced to struggle. But the game feels like every single DLC, there are more ways to break it. I mean, I quite literally made a video showing how immortality is now possible in CK3. Like, literally. I did that. I made it, I cannot not see it. And I'm not saying they should get rid of the immortality thing. I think it's great. It's really funny. It's just that as the DLCs to continue to come out, I'm really looking for that challenge to be like, right, this is what I'm going to have to face going forward. And this DLC, to me, was like the antithesis of that belief system. Yes, thank you. Vic Lorenzo has said it. Through difficulty, you achieve great storytelling. This one, it's like, it is the adversity. I don't know about you guys, but some of the best Hoi 4 campaigns are the ones where I was really struggling. I was on the back foot, and then you suddenly get your army into gear, the tank divisions come out, you finally get green air, and then you start pushing back. And that's when you're like, this is it. The Soviets had it coming, They had it coming. We marched to Moscow. Those are like the best moments. And a CK3 really struggles to deliver them because it's so easy to circumvent everything. And I feel like this DLC doubles down on that belief. Stress is one of the few difficulty mechanics in CK3, and that hike activity that he's talking about has very little, what's the word? Like, I don't want to keep saying the word resistance, but like very little adversity, like the things that stop you, things that aggravate you, things that make you sad face. And because of that, everything you do in this DLC makes the game easier. And so when you buy this DLC, you have to buy this DLC. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm really not, because there are aspects of it that I really like. The new events are great, the brewery's fine, I really like the new skill tree, even if it is overpowered, the implementation of a new skill tree is really good. It's just a shame that everything in it is so overtly good that I'm just like, oh, we're introducing the stress system. We're now introducing the hike mechanic for $5 that if you have it, you don't have to deal with the stress system because there's this hike activity and everyone can do it and it has no problems for everyone and you lose tons of stress by doing it and the perk tree has tons of things for dealing with the stress and stress really isn't a problem anymore, so it's done. $5. Thank you. And you're like, well, I guess you have to force yourself to not interact with those mechanics to really appreciate the difficulty then, if that makes sense. Like, I guess CK3 is less so about implementing difficulty and it's more so about self-imposed difficulty. You have to like make yourself play inoptimally or unoptimally to be able to have a challenge. And I just think, is that really the best course of action? I don't think so. That's why I want the next DLC for CK3, Chapter 4, to be a religion rework. I really want the Pope and the bishops and all of them to become a aggressive force in the world trying to stop everyone from having easy world conquests. You know, if a Christian declares war on a Christian, they shouldn't just accept it. They should be like, whoa, you're disturbing God's peace, blah, blah, blah. Try to stop you. You have to work within the systems. But no, unfortunately, it seems we're getting a DLC where you just go down a skill tree and you get a domain limit and 10% domain tax and bonuses to development and bonuses to everything, and then you go on an inspection and then you gain tons of gold for going on the inspection to buy more buildings, to grow more, to get more powerful. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you for everybody who managed to stay as I watched that random video about CK3. I know that it's mostly Hoi 4 people, but I appreciate everybody. I am now going to go relax, go chill, go... Oh god, I have to go edit that Hoi 4 video for Wednesday. I have to do that too. Okay, I'm going to go do that. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Oh god, it played a noise. Oh, I think everybody's gone now, so I don't need to wait. Oh, Liam's here. Thanks. Good night, Liam. It's night. It's 2 a.m. It's night. I know Vic Lorenzo was here for a bit. And anybody who's left. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Sayonara.